Okay, now I'm going to work some practice exercises from section G. I'm going to start with the exercises for 7G1. And in this one, I'm going to be using a truth table to test whether an argument is valid or invalid. So here is the argument I'm given. I'm told Q if and only if, not S. And I'm also told that S and not Q. Those would be the premises of the argument, and the conclusion of the argument is supposedly Q. So I need to see if this is valid or invalid. So I have two simple statements here, the S and the Q. So I will start with Q since it's listed first there, then S. Again, the order doesn't really matter, but that's the order I'm going to go in, and that's the order as well in the interactive exercise. I need 4 rows here. True, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. Now I'll write down my complex statements. I have Q if and only if, not S. I also have if S, I'm sorry, not if, but S and not Q. And then the conclusion is very simple, just Q. Okay, so we'll talk about validity and invalidity in a second, but first let me just go ahead and fill out the truth table part. So go ahead and just fill in the Q's. True, true, false, false, true, true, false, false, true, true, false, false. Go ahead and fill in the S's as well. True, false, true, false, true, false, true, false. Now I'll start with this complex statement between the triple bar and the tilde. As always, I start with the tilde. It's going to be the opposite of what I see for S, so it should be false, true, and now I'll do the triple bar. Again, I'm comparing what I see under Q with what I see under tilde, and I'm looking to see if they have the same truth value. If I see 2 T's, then I put T. If I see 2 F's, then I put T as well, right? So long as they agree, I put true. So true and false is false. True and true is true. False and false is true. False and true is false. That's my main operator there. Okay, now I'll go to this complex statement. Here I am looking at a dot and a tilde between the conjunction and the negation there. Again, always go with the negation. So I'm going to simply write down the opposite of what I see under Q. So false, false, true, true. And then for the dot, it can only be true when both the S is true and the negation is true. So I'm looking to see if I see 2 T's. I don't, so false. I don't, so false. I do, so true, and I do not, right? F and T, so false. That's the main operator there. So that one is only going to be true on the third row. And then I already have my conclusion. I don't have to do anything there, right? Now I need to test for validity. And if you remember the definition of validity, it says that if the premises are true, then the conclusion must be true as well. All right, so I'm looking to see, are there any rows where the premises are true, but the conclusion is not? If I see any row with where the premises are true and the conclusion is not, then it's invalid. Otherwise, it's valid. So here, both my premises are in fact false, so that one doesn't help me. Here, this premise is true, but this one is not, so that doesn't help me either. Here, the first premise is true and the second premise is true, but the conclusion is false. Aha, right? That one right there says invalid. And just to complete it, I wrote there invalid. Just to complete this exercise, you can look at the fourth row as well. You see here the premises are false, so they don't help. But there is a row where the premises are both true and the conclusion is false, so that means invalid. If I don't see a row like that, then it's valid. All right, so it's a very simple test. Just go through, look at the truth values under the main operators for the premises and for the conclusion, and if you see the premises are true and the conclusion is false on any row, then that row right there tells you that is invalid. If you don't see that, then the argument is valid.